If you're watching this video, you're still so early to the entire AI space. A lot of people out there come up and have the same problem of they're thinking they're arriving late to it and pretty much there's not much they can actually do in it. Well, this is just a quick image that I'm showing you here and showing a comparison to the AI era and obviously the dot-com. So you can see here at this moment in time, I would still consider us to be very early stages of AI. A lot of people are still not using it in terms of obviously small business owners especially. And there is a massive opportunity still lying ahead for everyone that's watching this. The big thing is, and I suppose the big understanding here is you need to start learning how to automate tasks, how to implement AI just to stay ahead of the competition, because I can guarantee you that your competition right now is already actively looking at AI and how they can bring it into their overall, I suppose, day-to-day workflows. So with that in mind, what I'm going to do is going to quickly go over, I suppose, 5 different levels of using AI. You can see where you kind of fit in this, and if you don't fit into any of these levels, you really do need to, I suppose, buckle down and start learning more about AI. Now, I run my own community here. If you're interested in joining, a 7-day free trial. I teach people how to use AI within their business. I also do live workshops. So again, if you're interested in that, I have one coming up this Wednesday. If you're watching this, the Wednesday the 29th, I think it is. And all you have to do is go to my Instagram. Link should be below in the description as well, and comment workshop. So with that in mind, we have 5 different levels of AI. We have the chatting mode where everyone just tends to use more than likely ChatGPT for this. We have feeding into your business. We have turning the job into a process, giving it the hands to do work, and then pretty much it runs without you process. And that's the final stage, I suppose, of AI at this moment in time, and I'll show you that at the very end of it, and it's kind of a breakdown of how I do it on a daily basis. So the first things first is chatting. We have all done it. We've all used ChatGPT to that extent, and I suppose for a majority of people, that's how you got started. You go along, you open up ChatGPT, you type something very basic into it. So create a post for Instagram. It goes along, it creates a generic post, simple and straightforward. There's not going to give you a massive amount of information. So you can see here has a bit of context about me. So let's go AI for small business. We go educate audience, and then it off it goes to the for us. So you can see here, if I come along, I've got this post done, it's okay. But what's going to happen is if I go and do the same thing tomorrow, you end up in the same problem. You have a generic answer. It's going to just repeat the exact same results. And if you're sitting in that and you're in level 1, you find yourself that you're always asking AI to do something, then you go along, you ask it to change it, and then you're changing it again, and you're constantly back and forth. It is probably time you start leveling yourself up. You need to start moving up through these levels because you've already outgrown, I suppose, that very basic use case and level of AI of just a chatting section. So again, as you can see here, it's ask, copy, close. You can do it for one-off jobs where people do tend to use it. This is the ceiling. You get your average answer, and pretty much the way up then is stop asking for answers, start giving it information. And this is where we move on to, I suppose, the level 2 of it. So level 2 is feeding your business, and this is, for most people, this is going to be a major change, because what it's going to allow AI to have context, and with this context it's going to completely change how AI actually gives you outputs and inputs. So you can feed it information like your pricing of your products, your services. If you have transcripts from calls, most business owners will have hundreds of transcripts. Again, you can give it to AI if you're comfortable, obviously, sharing that information with it. You can give it past proposals. This is going to allow AI to understand more of what your business does, how to uniquely create content for you. So instead of like this example here, it can now start to pull information that it actually has, and from there it's going to work what way you need it. So in on this, I suppose, a bit more, it's what it looks like is you bring the raw material, so you upload your files, your own documents doing a lot of the heavy work, and again, this is what gives AI the context to understand what you're actually doing for your business. The ceiling, again, it only works when you're driving it. So you need to be feeding it the information. You need to explain the job. You need to be very hands-on, I suppose, with it. And pretty much what ends up happening is you stop explaining the job, you define it, you save it, and you reuse it. And that's when you start to kind of potentially move into that next stage. And that next stage is level 3, is turning a job into a process. Now, this is where it really helps in terms of you're not constantly trying to explain the exact same things. So not only are we not having to worry about getting generic outputs, we're not trying to explain the same process. So anyone in the business, the process written once. So again, the rules, the steps, the format. This is similar to an SOP that you would give to potentially a new hire. You give it a process of how you do things. Now, for an example here for me is I use it for uploading YouTube videos. So I was manually doing the process. I'd create the thumbnail, create a title, description, chapters, and then upload to YouTube. Now I've replaced this entire process with AI because now I've given it the exact process. I've then told it you need to run this process whenever I command you. So I just go forward slash upload package. It uploads my video. Simple and straightforward. It removes a lot of the bottlenecks, and because it's something that's repeating itself every single day for me, it just makes it so much easier. So again, by quoting, it knows your numbers. So this is, I suppose, in your own business, your margins, your standard exclusions, your terms. Again, all this information it's able to pull from every single time you want. Screen what matters. Again, CVs. Problem with that, you have to be careful of AI policies and stuff like that in relation to CVs, of course, and private information. Identical every Monday. So if you have a recurrent task that you do every week or maybe every other day, you can get this built out into level 4. This level or level 3, sorry. So this is going to allow you to streamline them process. So if you have, let's say you run your own gym, you have a timetable you create every single week, then you can use this exact process to redo this every single week for you without you having to explain. I want you to sit down, or you have to physically sit down, sort out your timetable for staff, sort out your timetable for sessions, things like that. So it gets rid of them problems. So the thinking is handled, the doing is not. That's the key thing. It hands you finished quote. You're still the one pasting it, sending it, logging it, doing all these things. So the way up for this is you give it access to your tools, connect it to your system the business already runs. So an example here would be just say you want to email all your clients. If we stick with the personal trainer or the gym industry, you want to email all your clients with the new timetable. This is the next kind of stage where things get a little bit more. So what ends up happening is you're giving it, I suppose, the hands to help your system. So in this, I suppose, unique image here, it finishes the job, not just the thinking. So what ends up happening here is it creates your timetable for you. It then emails all your members. It then maybe updates your CRM with all the information. And this is what we mean by giving AI, I suppose, control in the hands. Now, you only do this once you have systems built up that you've tested, you know have worked, you know there's no problems. And what I tend to like this for is more of, I suppose, behind the scenes, the back end of stuff that don't necessarily get seen, I suppose, of on your socials or in general. And that's the key thing. So even a simple thing of updating your CRM. So again, if you're not familiar with this is just a platform that allows you to keep all the information of customers. So if you've ever been on a sales call with someone and they've asked you a question, it's kind of like, oh, how's your dog, or for whatever reason, whatever question it is, and it seems very personal, it's more than likely they've extracted that from a previous call they've had with you, and certain things they'll use to kind of make you feel a little bit more comfortable, which naturally leads you down to that road of potentially buying. The ability to, I suppose, send invoices is going to be massive here again. So again, if we look at this finance side of things, invoice can be created, it can be sent, and it can follow up using AI now. Because you've given it all in the other levels, you've given it the context of your business, it knows this. Inquiry to your CRM. So if you look here at this section where it's an inquiry to CRM, if we're using the gym again as an example here, what can happen is you might have a CRM and you know that members are going to churn very soon. Have an AI access that, find those potential members that are going to leave, and re-engage them is much easier than actually trying to get new members in. So again, a massive benefit there. You have operations, so again, notes become tasks. So that time when you're recording something note or you take a note on your phone, AI could potentially step in there. It could be a note of, I need to email the invoice to such and such a person. AI can step in and do that. The ceiling here, I suppose, is it still waits for you. You're still become the bottleneck. So if you decide you're not going to do anything for 2 days, the business stops. And I think this is probably leads us on, I suppose, to our final level, which is level 5, where it pretty much runs its sleep. Now, this is, and I've seen this on YouTube especially, this is dramatic. I'm not one to say that you want your business running for yourself, because it's simple and straightforward. You don't. You want to be involved. You want to showcase what's happening, because without that control of you, you don't know what's going to actually happen. So what you have here is you have one set of rules. A voice offers platforms. It runs on a schedule. So research, production, scheduling, content, And this is exactly what I have built out myself here. So if we just focus on the scheduling side of things, so I've done my work, editing or recording work, I've done my research, I've produced it, I've scheduled it now. So if we look in here to my folders on the left hand side, I have content here, short form content that AI has edited for me. So if we open up that quickly, you can see that this is a video that pretty much is ready to go for me. AI has done all the heavy lifting here of actually editing this for me, and added the captions, added all these different captions, added these things which I think are massive for me for videos, and it just means that that process is a bit more easier. Research done, content built, weekly scheduled content is all out there and ready to go. I suppose the way you look at this is you have like this here, one source of truth. You make sure that information that the business or AI has about your business is accurate. Don't have it some random information. And once you spend the time of building this out, this is going to just funnel everything downstream so much easier for you. So one source of truth is the rules of your business. So again, your voice, your offers, your platforms, it's set in stone. Then AI has specialists. So research can be scheduled to do it every 3 days. You could research your competitors on Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Extract that information to see what they're doing, what they're not doing. Are there opportunities for us? Build each piece of content. Again, we can get AI to do that. We can give it a raw video now, and it can edit it. It can adjust it to whatever we want. So if we wanted a different style, I suppose, for a different platform, we can try that. We can schedule content, waiting for in the morning again. So it's ready there for us. If we want to confirm it, again, we step in there and confirm it. If you want to live on the edge and you want AI just to do it all for you, you can do it. I just personally want to be still involved in the entire, I suppose, process. So it is automated to an extent of where I personally, I suppose, say this is where I want to step in. So what it is different here, nobody opened the chat window. So the research ran 2 days ago on its own. Again, as long as your computer is obviously on. The competitor sweep ran this morning. Again, perfect. You can do the same with run through your CRM on a daily basis, weekly basis, see who's going to churn. You review and decide. Your job moves from doing the work to approving it. This is, I suppose, the key shift of how AI can, I suppose, massively help you. And this is exactly what's part of the community within the first 7 days. I'm a firm believer here that if you're joining communities like this to learn about AI, you want to get something straight away. So as part of your 7 day free trial, I have a 7 day challenge. You build out your actual system to start, and really realistically from there, it's very much improving and growing and keeping up to date with all information that's happening to at the end goal to help your own business. So the key is you change one rule in one file, every output changes downstream. So if you happen to change your pricing here, let's say you're charging 30 euros for your membership, and down the road you decide to change it. Well, you're not going through every single thing. You can make one change and it's going to update everything. You can update your website, social media content, everything like that gets changed. So by level 5, it's not really AI anymore. It is your business system, and nobody can copy it because it's built from your own, I suppose, business and how it works. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons and biggest, I suppose, benefits of using AI like this. So look, I'm leaving it there. I'm trying to keep this a bit shorter if I can. The entire breakdown I can cover inside the community. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And if whatever level you consider yourself to be at, just slap it into the comments below. I love to see what other people and where they, I suppose, view themselves as. So thanks very much for watching, and I hope everyone has a great day.